like that, man. Really?
No, Dad, stop.
The crowd's going crazy.
Dad, I swear. Dad, stop it.
Like to make my dad.
No, stop. This is why I don't want to go anywhere with you. Uh-huh. Like everyone behind me. Dad, would you stop? God.
Okay. We're here.
Yeah.
Okay, come on around. I think there's room for everybody.
You know what would happen if I dropped my phone?
It would break.
No, there's a hard case on it, so I would have it break.
That thing lifts.
So put the people up there?
I'm gonna put the car on it.
There you are. Come on around if you like. Room for everybody. Yeah, it's just kind of in the shade, isn't it? Understand that.
You get a lot of money.
Right.
How far down the chain makes money?
In the case of the 500, they all do. Yeah, last place in the race is usually in the $250,000 range. All the way up to, like, say, $3 million or so for the winner. It's a little bit variable depending on, you know, who their sponsors are and what their sponsor awards are. If they led any laps, they get paid for each lap they lead. That kind of thing. Come on around so you can see. Okay, I think we're all here now. Well, this is the winner's podium at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Kind of hallowed ground in all of racing. Our races are so prestigious worldwide that about everybody involved in racing anywhere would like to be in this area as a winner of one of our events. Now, the way we use this facility is that the level we're on right here, right now, is used after the MotoGP motorcycle race. They celebrate the top 3 finishers. So the top 3 winners come down through the pit area here. They park their bikes out back, come up the stairway, and they stand up here. First place here, second place here, and third place over here. The place is jammed with all of their team and all their supporters, sponsors, and everybody. And they have a great time up here. A lot of yelling, jumping around. They sprinkle everybody down with a little champagne, so everybody has a good time up here. It's fun watching them. But for the Indianapolis 500 and the Brickyard 400, we don't use this level after the race. This is used before the race. This is where Jim Neighbors, he's back home again in Indiana, national anthem sang up here, and all those type pre-race activities happen up here at this level. So what happens after the race? Well, the winner comes down through the pit area here and parks on that steel plate that's down below us. Gets on there with all of his team supporters. They put a railing around it, pretty much like the railing we got up here. In the case of the 500, he's got his World War trophy and his bottle of milk, and they celebrate down there that way. Now, they can lift that up in the air 9 feet if they want to. There's a hydraulic system underneath here. They haven't done that the last couple of years, I think mainly because the photographers have a little trouble.
I think so. When you do it, it's put one on in and then it's grab another one.
No, but I bet I can turn it to like a night vision.
That reflection made it look white.
What reflection?
About 90 pounds.
Products are primarily at turn 1 and turn 3, top of grandstand, and also power heater.
I want to sit over there.
Yeah. You didn't keep my radio in anymore. On in, everybody.
Come on, Amy.
We got everybody? Don't see. Okay. We are inside our 10-story pagoda tower here. We're on the second floor of the building, and this is probably the most important piece of real estate in the whole place when racing is going on, because this is timing and scoring. So much prestige and so much money involved in our races that we just have to make absolutely certain our results are accurate and everybody has confidence in that. And we go to great lengths to make sure that's the case. Now, the way we score these races these days is that if you look down on the track where we were a bit ago, you see that white line going across. Well, that's the start-finish line. Now, you see right to the right of that, two light gray lines going across the track, and then about 5 or 6 feet over to the right, it's a little hard to see them, but there's two other lines going across. Well, those are cables that are buried in the track surface. They're connected to the computers that are back here behind us. Each car in a race has a little radio with it called the transponder that puts out a continuous signal that's equal to the car number. So, the car comes down the straightaway, crosses those cables, and that event and car number is recorded on our computers to 1,000th of a second. So it's a very precise scoring and timing situation we have here. Now, we got two sets of cables here to the start-finish line because the Indy cars put their transponders in the front of their cars. So the set closest to the start-finish lines for them. Well, NASCAR puts theirs in the back of their cars. The second set for them. I think maybe they might do that because the NASCAR drivers tend to run into things a lot with the front of their cars. I don't know. This is my theory. We have those cables at a number of places all the way around the track so we can time and score the cars all the way around. Now, another feature we have that keeps track of the start-finish line is we have a camera mounted to the building that's capable of taking 10,000 photographs a second. So, car coming down the straightaway at say at 220 miles an hour, from the time the nose of that car just gets to the white line to where it just crosses it, we've taken 4 perfectly clear pictures of that. So there's not any doubt of what happens here at the start-finish line at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Now, another feature we have here that involves start-finish is that thing that looks like a bird nest up there on that post. Well, that's the flagman stand. Flagman's up there with his team flagging the race. Now, we have a tradition here at the Speedway that for the 500, we invite a celebrity to come here and do that. And we've had a number of notable characters come here and start the race for us. Now, a year before last, we invited Jack Nicholson, the actor, to come here and do that. So, he was excited about that. He came out here on race day. He got to that tower over there, that post. There's a steel ladder on the back side of that to get up to the platform. Couldn't climb the ladder. It's a little chunky. So we got a scissor lift out here. Took him up there. That was fine. He was okay with that. He got up to the platform. He started the race with a green flag, but he was having so much fun at it. The race was a third of the way over before we get the flags away from him and continue down. He just was having a great time, and it was kind of fun watching him up there doing that. Another thing you can see from here that involves a track, on that little white building up there that I mentioned the radio station uses, well, to the top of that, to the right side, you see kind of a triangular-like little tower, and then you see a tubular-looking device mounted to that. Well, that's a remote-controlled camera. There are 19 of those around the track, and they're positioned to see the entire track surface. Those are visible from a room behind us over here called range control. There's a monitor and 2 VCR recorders on each camera to keep track of what they're seeing. Now, what we use those for is to look at anything on the track that might cause a problem. Say something falls off of one of the cars, or let's say something blows on the track and it's a windy day. Or maybe one of the critters that lives around here, like squirrels and rabbits and stuff like that, decide to take a walk on the track during the race, they can see that and take corrective action before it causes any problem. The hospital, where we were a minute ago, can also operate those cameras so that if there's an incident on the track or someone might need their attention, they can focus the camera in and kind of get a heads up on what might be headed their way. They say those cameras are so good that you can put your watch face up on the track anywhere, and those cameras can focus in and watch the second hand go around. They're very precise cameras. Now, another thing we have here in this building I'd like to mention is that on the 9th floor of this building, we have some offices up there. And one set of offices we have is for our security people. We not only have the Indianapolis, Indiana Police active here, we also have Homeland Security. We have the FBI and Secret Service all active here at the track. And you can see that with 400,000 people at an event showing worldwide live, just got to make sure everything goes smooth. And they do a great job of making sure of that. So their offices are up there. Also on the 9th floor is another set of offices. The people that control the race and make all the decisions relevant to the race are up there, Chief Stewart and his team. So what happens, they get all the information up there and they make decisions on if there's a yellow flag or a red flag or whatever it is, or if a team is to be penalized. Well, if a team is penalized for something, two things are usually true. One is they don't like it, and the other thing is they may not agree or understand the penalty. So if that's the case, they can come here to this office behind us where the Chief Steward has his people, and they can have explained to them why that penalty was assessed. Now, they still may not like it, but at least they'll understand it so they can take some corrective action so that doesn't happen to them again. So I think that's helpful to them. Okay. Now, I mentioned when we were over in the media center that other box up there used to be where the television people were. Well, now their anchor people have moved over here, and they're down at the end of this floor where that shaded glass is. TV network moves in there with their living room furniture that those folks use and all their equipment to broadcast them over there. And so that's where they are. Now, as you see, they took all that with them when they left, but they'll be back in a couple of weeks with the rest of that again. But if you're watching one of our races on television and they show the anchor people, you'll know where they are. It's down here at the end of the second floor, right here in the tower. Okay. Now, one thing, how did we score and time these races? Well, we had all this electronics. Back in 1911, there wasn't electronics. We had 40 cars in a race. How in the world did we do that? Well, the way we did it, we had a mechanical timing device that could time to about 100th of a second. That was fine. The cars weren't going that fast back then. But how do we keep track of the order of cars in the race? Well, there were 40 cars in the race, as I say. So we got a long table just like this. We got 40 chairs lined up at this table, and each one was numbered, 1 through 40. We rounded up 40 people, and each person had a car number on their back that's equal to one of the cars in the race. So, before the race started, everyone would arrange themselves in chairs at the order of the start for their particular car. Full car was in chair 1, car started second, that person was in chair 2, and all the way down to the whole thing. Well, about every 10 or 15 laps, each person would consider where their car had migrated in the field. Let's say the full car was now in 4th place. That person would get up from chair 1 and go sit in chair 4. The person that had been in chair 4 would say, okay, I'm in 6th place now. So they would get up and go sit in chair 6. So we played this musical chair system through the whole thing, and that's how we kept track through the whole race. Now, back in the day, this table was not in a nice, air-conditioned, quiet place. It was outside along the track, smoke and debris everywhere, and it was hot. So, and these were 6.5-hour races. So if you happen to have a car that dropped out early, you felt really lucky once you were done for the day and you could go home. One thing I mentioned, someone mentioned the floor out on the winner's podium was kind of, well, this floor is that way too. And the reason it's this way, the floor's constructed these metallic blocks. Just miles of cables underneath here to support all the electronics. So if a cable needs to be replaced or added to, they just take up the blocks that have to do with that cable. They don't have to disturb the rest of the floor. So it's kind of a clever way of doing it. Okay, let's head over to the